west side, north side, and even if you claim the east side, give it up for our mayor, Lori Lightfoot.
Thank you all for being here. First of all, let's give it up for Father Mike. If there's anybody in this city who's working harder than he is to win hearts and minds, to save our young people, I haven't met them. Father Mike is a gift to this city, and we should be grateful for the contributions that he has made, and grateful to this incredible community of believers. Thank you, Father Mike. I also want to recognize our great state's attorney, Kim Fox, who is here. All right. Alderman Brookins and Alderman David Moore as well. But I mostly want to pick up on the theme that Father Mike said. We are doing everything we can to unite every aspect of city government to focus on safety in our neighborhoods, to focus on our young people and turning them away from violence, to provide as many resources as we possibly can to unite with a single focus of keeping our community safe. But Father Mike is right. The most powerful tool that we have to make sure that our young people grow up in a world where fear is not their norm, where we grow up in a world that children are actually able to go out on the street and enjoy a beautiful day like today, is every single one of you. Everyone in the sound of my voice, everyone in every neighborhood, reclaiming the territory under your feet and saying, we will not shelter the people who wreak havoc and chaos in our streets. We will not give them sanctuary. That we will fight every single day for the right to live free from violence. Public safety cannot be a commodity that is only available to the wealthy. Every single community, regardless of zip code, regardless of race or ethnicity or economic status, has a right to live in freedom. But that begins with us demanding more of ourselves in our community, in our neighborhood, not allowing people who pick up weapons without any thought for the horrible repercussions that will follow from pulling a trigger. We cannot give shelter to those who want to destroy a life. We know who these folks are. They live in our community, and we have to wrap our arms around them. We have to love them. But when they do wrong, as my mother would say, they are wrong and they must suffer the consequences. We must teach our young people different ways to resolve disputes. We must teach our young people that this growing community of victims, their lives shattered forever, is not a place where they want to be and not a place where they want to send people. We have to support those who are willing to come forward. And as Father Mike has said, let their faith overcome their fear. That is the support that we need to bring to our brothers and sisters and our young people who are under siege. I promise you, as mayor of this great city, I'm going to do everything I can every single day, morning, noon, and night, to make sure that we are united, to strengthen our community, that we are bringing economic development and jobs, and repairing the broken safety net, and making sure that people who have needs, from trauma to mental health, don't have to travel great distances or go without, because we have the resources in every community. But we must speak to our young people. We know that the cohort of 16 to 24-year-olds are the ones who are most at risk, the ones who are most in need. We must bring resources and love to them. Somebody said to me recently, and it's so true, our children and our young people are a product of the ecosystem of the adults around them. So you need to ask all of us as adults, what are we doing to model good behavior, healthy behavior for our young people to see. And you don't have to have a lot of money. You don't have to have all the riches. But if you live a life in faith and in goodness and show our young people what values mean and wrap them with love and extend yourselves in any way that you can, we will make a difference to transform lives, transform neighborhoods, and transform this city for the better. We have the example of our young people who are fighting hard every day, not only in St. Sabina, but in communities all over the city, who are asking us as adults to lead. We need to heed their call so that we create a community that is safe, that is loving, that is nurturing. No government, no leader, no mayor can do this alone. I need each of you to make a commitment, to dig down deeper and make sure that our young people are safe this summer. We will do everything we can. We won't need another march on the Dan Ryan to get the attention of the powers that be to make sure that our communities are safe. But it all starts with you. So let's join together and remember those who are most in need. Remember our loved ones who have been the victims of violence and do everything we can to promote safe, healthy communities. And in God's name, we will get it done. Thank you.
Give it up for Mayor Lori Lightfoot. We want to make sure that what we're doing here is done right and in accordance. So I'm going to invite Miss Erica Netton to pray us into this.
Let's go, Erica! How y'all doing? All right. First of all, I want to recognize all the many faiths that are here today. We have people here from all walks of life and all faiths, and we need to recognize how powerful that is in itself. So as I pray, I want to recognize as many faiths as possible, even those who do not share a faith, to just share with us in the energy and the spirit of this prayer. Amen? Amen. We come to you right now, Almighty God, and we just ask that right now, oh Lord, that you allow us to see. You allow us to see the rejected, oh God. Because what is happening all around us is a product of rejection. And we just ask that right now that we would ask ourselves, who are those that have been forgotten? Who are those who we have turned our backs on? And what can we do to bring them together? There's an African proverb, oh God, that says, the child that does not feel loved by the village will burn the village down just to feel its warmth. So we ask you, oh God, to look around and to open our eyes and open our hearts. Our babies are being rejected from the age of 5. Some of our babies are being rejected in preschool. We need to end this spirit, oh God. And we just ask you right now that we will begin to reach across and reach in and begin to see every child as our child, and that we will begin to see every youth as our youth, and that we will not other each other, oh God, and that we understand that this is generational trauma, oh God, that we understand this has been going on for generations. This is not new. This is a product of all the way back to the injustices that originated in our communities, and it is time to kill it at the root. If we will be the type of people that do not tolerate violence in our community, we shall also be the type of people that will not tolerate economic violence in our communities. We will not tolerate any type of violence in our community. When we see we are lacking, we will rise up. We will teach our young people to rise up, and we will begin to embrace each other in the mighty name of God. So we thank you right now that it is no more just thoughts and prayers, oh God, but it is prayers and action, oh God, because you cannot do the supernatural until we do the natural. And so right now we shall hit these streets, and every time our feet hit these streets, oh God, let change resonate and through this town and through this city and through our blocks. In your name we pray. Amen.
Hey! I'm taking that prayer with me every time my feet hit the street. You know, I grew up just a couple blocks away from here, and our next speaker was one of the guys that I saw on the block. And I'll let him tell his own story, but it's so powerful when you see folks as you're growing up that come back and tell you and show you how to do right. So please welcome to the podium, Brother Asa Powell.
Come on, Asa!
How y'all doing? Just to be quick, I'll tell you a brief history on my life around here because I'm born and raised around here. I caused a lot of problems in this area. I did almost 10 years in the federal penitentiary. I think I just shook one of the commander's hands here who used to stalk me every day from Carpenter to Troop and everything, just to show you, how full circle we can come. But long story short, I went to federal prison in 1992. I got out in 2001. I vowed to change my life in prison, which is real big. I've spoken to over 23 prisons in Illinois for free at the behest of Roberta Fuse a few years ago. And one way that we really need to touch people like myself, because I got reached in jail, because it was hard to reach me on the street, because young black men on the street have a whole lot more going on than what you think. One thing we always say is a young black male might not have a job, he might not have a girlfriend. The only thing they have is respect. And they will not allow anyone to take the respect because that's the only thing they have left. That's where the gun comes in play, because the gun gives them respect. And the only thing that will alleviate this sense of respect that they have to do anything to keep it is love. So when I got out of federal penitentiary in 2001, maybe a month or two, I came to see Father Mike. Father Mike used to march on all of my dope houses from Carpenter to Sangerman to everywhere. He would march on our dope houses, and we loved him because we knew he was doing the right thing, but we were caught up in what we were caught up with. So he still would always pull me to the side and say, hey man, why are you doing this? Because I went to this school. He said, why are you doing this? You can do better. You should do better. And of course, we so wrapped up in what we're wrapped up in. The environment dictates a lot. We didn't listen. So I went to federal penitentiary, did my time, didn't cooperate, didn't tell on anyone, which is important because you must do the time if you did the crime. When I got out of federal penitentiary, I came to Father Mike, said, please, I'm fearful because I did so much damage in Gresham and Inglewood in these organizations. I'm fearful of the police because there's so much bad blood. They might plant drugs on me or do something to me to get me up out of here. And I knew the next time I would go to federal penitentiary, it'd probably be for 30, 40 years. Michael, Father Flager, took me in, sat me down with the commander and the chief of police at that time and said, I will vouch for him. He's going to help me straighten up the community that he helped destroy. And before that meeting, Mike looked me in the face and said, listen, don't make a fool out of me. You really got to do. I said, I swear to God, I'm on the right path. I'm not going back to jail. I had been reached in prison. So I helped do whatever I can for the community, everything he told me to do, and he helped me tremendously. So what I say all that to say is I had a second chance, and I wasn't thrown away. And I wasn't a regular down the street. I was a leader in one of these organizations. I invented a lot of stuff that was going on in these streets, and we do the best we can. Some of my brothers are out here that I was in these streets with. I love them. They're my brothers. 4 generations later, I would not give up on them. Just like Mike didn't give up on me, just like you don't give up on your kids and brothers and sisters that might have strayed away. How many people, just a show of hands, have somebody incarcerated right now? Right. So this touches all of us. So the key thing I preach is just never give up on us. And what I try to do every day, I'm a successful businessman. I've been doing events now for 20 years, concerts here, Vegas. I got the biggest urban database in Illinois, so I have a huge data company. But I touch a lot of young kids that's in this, and that's what I wake up doing every day, because I never think I'm through paying for my sins that I did in this area, and that's what thrives me. So I'm glad for Father Mike. I always come back, whenever he needs it and help. We co-founded the Chicago Peace Tournament here with some of our other brothers here, with Joe King Noah and Isaiah Thomas. So anything we can do, particularly in this community in Inglewood, because it's where we're from. So the message is just never give up, because the people sitting in the penitentiary, the people shooting the guns right now are your kids, your brothers. Nobody's born and they ask what you want to be, and they said, I want to be a gangbanger. That's not what we say. We just caught up in the environment. So just have compassion and love and never ever give up on us. Thank you.
Thank you, Ace of Pound. Let me hear you all say, demand justice. Demand justice.
Demand justice.
Demand justice.
Demand justice.
When we talk about justice, I don't know if you all know, but recently the state of Illinois passed or legalized marijuana. And I just want to thank us for having great representation, folks who were elected to be and speak, to be our voice and speak for us. Please give it up for State Representative Sonia Harper. Our next speaker is someone who really is the conscience, the voice of our community. Words have never been so eloquently put together. Please give it up for Brother Harold Green.
One of the most fruitless magic tricks ever performed is making the white man believe he shared no struggles with the black man. False superiority, fictitious dividing lines, but when you realize that there is strength in numbers, when you realize that there are strength in numbers, the mystique of the magician loses its power, because when the wizard gathers crowds, he's not looking to just do magic tricks. The wizard would like to do illusions. The more in attendance, the easier it is to fool the masses that he is a grand wizard, no need for a hood. You just make them believe in spells and enchantments, slogans, and make them chant it. Hypnotize them with rhetoric. But the biggest foe to magic is reality. No lie can live forever. So truths and unveiled are the biggest counter. That means when you call terror and hate by its name, the crowd grows smaller. Tiki torches get blown out. Rallies turn to parties. Parties turn to gatherings. Gatherings turn to solitary confinement. And I want you to just look at the wizard when you call him out for being a charlatan. His face turns red and all of that evil just spews from his pores and projects from eyes. And that's when you realize it's no magic in marching. It's just forward progress. Now that's power. It's no magic in marching. It's forward progress, and that's power. Because when you march in the name of peace, you are calling hate by its name. You're calling war by its name. When you march in the name of justice, you're calling corruption by its name. You're calling discrimination by its name. When you march in the name of equality, you're calling poverty by its name. You're calling poverty by its name. You're calling oppression by its name. When you march in the name of humanity, you're calling apathy by its name. You're calling segregation by its name. When you call a magic trick by its name, it loses its power. So we keep marching, hands holding, feet moving, eyes forward. We keep marching, hands holding, feet moving, eyes forward. You'll let history tell you that it's the victim's job to create empathy and solutions. But it is up to us to create an environment in which victims do not even exist. It's up to us to create an environment in which victims do not exist, so we persist and never be fooled by wizards who get wrapped up in illusions of grandeur. When your body feels weak, I hope your spirit stays strong. March on. Because this fight won't last forever, so when I say how long, you say not long. How long?
Not long.
How long?
Not long.
How long?
Not long.
How long?
Not long.
How long?
Not long.
say that we're gathered here today to make sure that we have a peaceful summer. And in seeking out peace, I think we must first ask those who we are trying to protect, right? So please, welcome to the podium, Barton School students.
How's everybody doing today? Today, we are going to be performing a song that Barton Elementary School wrote called Praying for My City.
Praying for my city, I be praying for my city. Praying for my city, I be praying for my city. Chicago, 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 Chicago. Take a stand for my city, stand for my city. Take a stand for my city, stand for my city. Chicago, Chicago, Chicago.
Shot-town, that's my town, we don't turn down, we litty, top down, we cruise around, if in the class come with me. Hit the block out west, the Blackhawks and the Bulls there, Lecture drive to north, set the Cubs and the Bulls there, slide down to the south side, the White Sox in my school there, every green and Beverly, it ain't just us, the Obama, Jordan, Oprah, yeah, they all came here, Obama, Jordan, Oprah, yeah, they got their name here, my city, big time, they got their fame here, but the weather when it colder than the rain, yeah, we be outside even when it rain, yeah, it be bustin' out of town, it be the same here, call, we'll turn, but listen here, I speak like an engineer, we speaking like the Cavaliers, all the kids in all the town, not like them during their college years, you ain't even gotta leave, it's college year, the young people lost some hair, the young heroes lost some hair.
For my city, I be praying for my city. Praying for my city, I be praying for my city. Chicago, 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 Chicago. Take a stand for my city, stand for my city. Take a stand for my city, stand for my city. Chicago, 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 yeah.
Chicago is my city. Only way to live life, you gotta stay free. I was born on the west side of Chicago. Yeah, they shoot and fight, yeah, so I was raised right. Only way to save myself, I gotta stay tight. I gotta shine bright, like it is my last night. Like it is my last night.
They trying to make it like my city have no act right. We all family in this house, so get your facts right. The news quick to show the crime and the shooting, but they don't show the smart students that's getting recruited. Everybody getting the shots, it's enough stuff. But all our family look alike, so trust us. Yeah, but I ain't talking about the movie though. Come to Chicago, we making movies, yo.
Praying for my city, I be praying for my city. Praying for my city, I be praying for my city. Chicago, 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 Chicago. Take a stand for my city, stand for my city. Take a stand for my city, stand for my city. Chicago, 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 yeah.
Chicago is my city. Only way to live life, you gotta stay free. I was born on the west side of Chicago. Yeah, they shoot and fight, yeah, so I was raised right. Only way to save myself, I gotta stay tight. I gotta shine bright, like it is my last night. Like it is my last night.
Chicago is that city. Yeah, we keep it tight. We stacking up these bills, not talking about the rights. Yeah, we are some monsters. We build it with these tools. The best team in history. Yeah, we got the Bulls. We rising to the top, climbing up the ladder. You get your chance to rap, just like Chance the Rapper. We gon' make it big. This city never boring. We scoring points in history, just like Michael Jordan.
Give it up for Barton Elementary! keep that same energy and bring up more youth speakers. Earlier I called out Brighton Park. Brighton Park, make some noise! I'm so thankful this next speaker, Diego Garcia. Diego Garcia is a leader who still keeps the fight. I don't know if you all know, but St. Sabina Brave Youth, Brighton Park, North Lawndale, youth from all over Chicago came together and shut down the Dan Ryan. They stayed in touch. So, Diego, you got the mic.
Hi, my name is Diego Garcia, and this is my friend Oliver. Somos estudiantes mexicanos de Brighton Park. I want you all to think about this. Why do you respect the dead more than the living? Why do you have to wait for your loved ones to be gone so you can start speaking up about the value of life? Love tells us to speak up for everyone, while fear and hate constantly remind us of our differences regardless of how similar we all are. They want us to not care about each other. They want us to stay silent. Brothers and sisters, their complacency is killing our kids. We've gone through years and years and years of assassinations and cover-ups. This unjust war isn't only on our children. It also targets the gang members in our hood, law enforcement, the LGBTQ community, the black community, the brown community. It's a war on Americans, and we have become numb to the pain that comes with this national epidemic. These tragedies are finally bringing us closer together despite our differences. Father Manny and Father Mike united the black and brown youth. Aguayo and Latiker got the youth out of the streets, and the Parkland students called BS. It's our turn to make a statement. We're not just good kids living in a mad city. Let's all come together as one family and repeat after me. We will fight.
We will fight.
For all of our brothers and sisters. We will fight.
We will fight.
For those who are no longer here.
For those who are no longer here.
We will fight.
We will fight.
Because enough is enough.
Because enough is enough.
Now make some noise and let's start saving some lives.
The next speaker is Trey Bosley. Trey Bosley is a part of Brave Youth St. Sabina. He is an engineering major at SIUE. And we talk about marching and turning things into action. Well, he will be experiencing policy in our nation's capital, working with Congresswoman Robin Kelly. So give it up for Trey Bosley.
First, I want to start off with a chant. Everybody say after me. Everyday shootings are everyday problems. Last week. Say everyday shootings are everyday problems. Do you really want to say something? Say everyday shootings are everyday problems. Thank you. My name is Trevon Bosley. I'm here with the Brave Youth Leaders of St. Sabina. And I'm here just to ask one question. Why are you here? That's it, that's all. Why are you here? Truly think about it. Are you here because the unemployment rate in our communities are double and triple that of the north side? Are you here because there are only 6 city-ran mental health clinics for 2.7 million people? Are you here because you want black and brown children to have the same educational opportunities as the kids up north? Or are you here because of the 1,000... Hold on. This number changes so much, so I gotta check my phone to make sure. All right. Or are you here for the 1,089 people who have been shot in Chicago just this year alone? See, I want to see a show of hands. Raise your hand if yourself, a family member, or someone you know has been a victim of gun violence. That's nearly everybody. That's messed up. Now, for those of you who don't know, my brother Terrell Bosley was shot and killed April 4th, 2006, while at church getting ready for rehearsal. My brother was murdered when I was 7 years old. And after his death, I reached the point where I just knew this is just the way of life. You know, our alarm clocks are gunshots and police sirens. Instead of saying bye, we say be safe when people leave. keeping our eyes out for cars that drive around our block one too many times, constantly watching out over our shoulder just because you never know what can happen. Not even expecting to make it past the age of 18, let alone 21. That's just our way of life, right? But the older I get and the more places I go, the more I understand that this isn't the way we are supposed to live. We are not supposed to have parents burying their children. We are not supposed to fear for our lives when we get pulled over. We are not supposed to have funerals and balloon releases every week. We are not supposed to have a city where our neighborhoods look like third world countries while downtown is constantly building. And this one may rub people the wrong way. But we are not supposed to solely rely on politicians and celebrities to be the answer to our problems. You know, we are supposed to. We're supposed to have equity and equality throughout Chicago. We're supposed to have lifetime convictions for officers of the law who feel they are above the law. We're supposed to have churches that minister inside and outside of their four walls. We are supposed to have young people doing more and working with older people to save lives. We as young people are supposed to do more than just tweet and snap RIP. We have to be the change that we wish to see. We are supposed to come together as a community and take back our community. And most importantly, we are supposed to be here. Now, I'm going to conclude with a quote by Alice Walker, which says, "The most common way people give up their power is by thinking they don't have any." I want everyone here to know, we as the community have the most power to fix any problem in Chicago. Now I need everybody to repeat after me, say, everyday shootings.
Everyday shootings.
Our everyday problem.
Our everyday problem.
One more time for us, say something. Everyday shootings.
Everyday shootings.
Our everyday problem.
Our everyday problem.
Thank you.
I remember shortly after the death of Greg Robinson, Paramount told me that life has turned into living in fear every day. Our next speaker has decided that that moment of fear that they had, they were going to do something about it. They were going to organize and ended up organizing the entire country. So please, Chicago, give a warm welcome to David Hogg of March of Our Lives.
One second, I gotta take my phone out to make sure I don't go over time. I have a bad habit of that. None of us should be here today, but we all are. And the reason why I'm here today is because the same root cause that caused the shooting of Parkland was the shooting that was the reason why shootings happen across America on a daily basis. And it's not just weak gun laws or a lack of mental health. It is political, environmental, and social injustice. It is injustice that our communities face on a daily basis, and the fact that mass shootings and everyday acts of gun violence shouldn't have ended after the University of Texas A&T shooting. They should have ended way before that, immediately after, or way before, the Battle of Wounded Knee, which in my mind was the first mass shooting in American history, in modern American history, where the United States military went and murdered hundreds of non-armed and non-violent indigenous peoples. Yet we live in a country that continuously calls people illegal on stolen land. Right? We live in a country that was colonized itself and colonizes itself on a daily basis through what we call gentrification, but what I would call domestic colonization. That is not what's going to end gun violence. What will end gun violence is all of our communities working together and uniting across racial lines, uniting across economic lines, and realizing that all of our fight must be united, because when we are divided, we fail. And it is not going to be easy. It is not easy for someone that doesn't come from Chicago or someone that doesn't come from any other community to go out and speak to other communities, because in our schools and in our media, we're not taught about the idea of allyship. We're solely taught the idea of saviorship, and that is wrong. So that is what we must do. The reason why we oftentimes think to ourselves that the fight that happens here on the south side of Chicago or in Parkland, Florida is a different fight is because that is what the people that oppress us want us to think. They want us to think that our fight is a different fight. They want us not to be allies with each other, but they want us to see each other as Black Americans, white Americans, Latino Americans, and so on and so forth, so that we never unite. And that's what I call for. Not to unite as pro-gun or anti-gun, Not to unite as Democrat or Republican, but to unite as Americans and human beings living in the United States of America, united against all forms of violence. No matter whether that be a war on our streets on a daily basis or a war that the United States sends young people to die in on a daily basis. Because there is a reason why in the United States of America, our young people are automatically registered and drafted to be brought into wars that they never had any say in, but they're not automatically registered to vote. Right? Today is our time to unite. There's a famous saying in Garden, and I oftentimes use that as my own form of self-care to look after my own PTSD and trauma. And the saying goes that the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time to plant a tree is today. Today is the day that we can plant that tree for social change in the United States so that no other generation and no other zip code and no other human being that lives in the United States of America has to live in constant fear of gun violence, whether it be on their school, on their way to school, in their home, or when they get pulled over by the police. Because nobody in the greatest country on earth should have to fear gun violence on a daily basis. Thank you.
Quickly want to shout out someone who fights here. This is her district, State Senator Jackie Collins. In this, we're going to take a song selection from Takesha Michelle Kizar.
Hello, everyone. How you doing today? You excited about marching? I am so honored to be here this evening, and I appear on behalf of the Chicago Symphony Orchestra, and we joined together with purpose over pain. And the words that you're about to hear, Trevon Bosley actually supplied them, and it speaks of his brother and the loss. So I want you all to keep in mind that we are here for a purpose. We're here for a reason. And listen to the words. You can play them.
Carolyn.
Emptiness from never seeing them again. Missing a role model. Fighting for others and for change. Oh, for a better future. Confidence that I will grow. Leaving my future's bright. To change for the city of Chicago, runners around, you'll never be forgotten. You are the reason I strive to change the world. You're the kindness I have to hold them with me. Little brother in the way you lived life, hating your